Welcome to Zenterno Radio, where we drop truth gems all along the way. This is episode 32, and so we're plugging along, and it will be entitled Existential Amnesia. So let's jump right into it. So, man as in mankind, and this is general humans and general people, suffer from an existential amnesia because he does not know who he is. And this is truth. So the statement is true because if you listen to the scientists and scholars, their questions are, what do they ask? They say, why are we here? Who are we? What is life? What is the meaning of life? What is the purpose of life? Right? They say these type of questions. So just by saying those questions, you already know he has an amnesia. He doesn't understand who he is, what his purpose, and where really his destiny is. If there is one at all, right? It's very sad. So, I love solutions, and I always see problems, but I love solutions. I don't like focusing on problems, because then when you just focus on what I just shared with you, you're like, yeah, I guess I don't know. No, now we got to switch, and we focus to the solution. So all that is needed is to recognize that we are literally made of light, and that we are spiritual beings, an expression of the divine in and with nature. Now, this is also scientifically proven because DNA itself has bioluminescence. But not even that, we can go even deeper than DNA, which is you go around the atom, and around every atom are electrons, and electrons are like electricity, and they're lightning, and it is light itself. They are photonic, they're photons, protons. They create photons, I guess. They create light, and they are light, and we are that. Nature is that. The elements, the plants, and everything. So we're one with that energy. So we understand that. Then you realize, okay, so we're actually light. So if we're light, then what is then therefore our destiny? Well, it's also to be united back to light. But we're in a three-dimensional space that is a temporal zone. And it's all about remembrance. It's all about figuring out who you are and coming back to understand who you are. And this makes a lot of sense because we just even look at how we're brought forth in this plane on the earth. We start as babes, right? We're born as babes, not knowing anything, and we have to grow and we have to absorb. And that's why when you're young, there's always a lot of fire in people. There's a lot of fire in their eyes and the fire in their spirit to learn, to seek, trying to figure things out. They're curious. Then you got young people and they want to travel and then they want to intermingle with different peoples because it's all about absorbing and it's all about learning things and taking it in. But as you get older in this reality or older in this universe or on this earth plane, you realize what you probably all knew all along in your spirit is connecting back to the light, connecting back to source, realizing also that many archetypes and things that have been pushed forward in society, such as many political movements and ideologies of identity. Excuse me, that shouldn't have made a noise right there. Identity have also captured people in certain ways, and that's a problem. This is also what I want to be breaking down. So I've actually put down here, I write my notes out. So I've said I'm sick of lower energy vibrations and resonance such as the identity with one's skin color or one so-called country. And I'm saying so-called country because even countries themselves are actually not countries. They're technically corporate entities, especially, since in the last few hundred years, they've become this. And the whole push of globalization has created that where it's no longer heritage and nation. It's all about commerce. It's all about money, and it's corporations. So actually every country is a corporation, and that's why we have birth certificates, we have registrations, and we have all of this stuff. We're registering your car, register your house, register your birth. Everything is registered to the system. So we have to realize that's a matrix in of itself, and that's why this is how deep this system has been perverted, and Satan has lied to the people into who they actually are. It's another way to put a veil over our eyes of understanding again who we are. We can just be trapped by that system and say, well, this is just the way it is, and I'm going to work to make money, in order to pay bills. But there's no meaning in that, and there's no purpose in that, and there's no fulfillment at all. There's literally is no purpose, fulfillment, or anything in that. That is literally slavery. But you've turned it in a way where you think like, this is normal, this is okay, everybody's doing it, so I'm okay with that. But the fact is, you shouldn't be okay with that, because it's not normal. It's slavery is really what it is. But it's slavery in a different way versus being chained up and with whips and being butt naked and whatever. We already know what other slaveries have done in this reality as well. So again, when one is beaten down by life, he or she then tries to hold on to these weak ideas in order to give them some sort of identity of who they are, which is, again, the skin color, the quote-unquote country that your family is from, and all this type of stuff. So also, like I just said, your car, your house, your birth certificate, all these registrations, they're giving you a sense of identity, but they're very weak forms of identity. This is not who you are. This is the fraud. That's been put over all of our eyes, because we're all born into it. But again, we are here in this reality, in the earth plane, to remember who we are. So we're not these things, and we're not our skin color. We're not even the flesh that we are. So then what are we? That begs the question. Then the question comes, what are we? As I said, we are light beings. That's why I made the album called Light Frequency. Because we are the light team, and we are the Kodashim. So Kodashim in Hebrew means the set apart ones, which is like the saints, represents the saints. So this is the energy that we need to be understanding as a starting point of awakening in this earth plane, in order to ascend to a higher place. If you can't get your spirit around that, you can't figure this out, and you're uncomfortable by any of what I'm saying, then it's okay to take the blue pill and go back to sleep, because you can do what you've been doing all along. See, a lot of people are scared people are scared of what they don't know. So when you're comfortable with something, you're going to be comfortable that way. When you are taught something different, you're going to be uncomfortable. But it's in the uncomfort we notice that's where growth takes place. It is the truth. You can't grow unless you get challenged. You can't grow unless something is a little disturbing. In the Gospel of Thomas, it speaks about this specific piece of information, which I actually love. And it's that when you first seek knowledge, you're going to be disturbed. And once you are disturbed, you will then actually marvel over that piece of information. You'll be in wonder, like, wow, marveling. And after you marvel and wonder over it, you end up ruling over it. And that's where we want to get to. It is disturbing. It's disturbing to figure things out. It's disturbing to see certain things. But once we marvel over it, we wonder it, then we rule over it, we become conquerors. We become kings and queens. We become the light beings that we were designed, and who we really are through remembrance, and stepping truly into ourselves, of our actual essence of who we are. So this is critical information. I would suggest reading the Gospel of Thomas to anybody who is also curious about that. This type of belief is a bondage that will keep you enslaved, and not the light side, but if you keep the whole matrix going, take the blue pill, it's a bondage. It's going to keep you enslaved. You will continue to have this existent amnesia. So you're going to not know who you are. You're not going to understand your purpose. You're going to live and you're going to suffer. You're going to catch diseases. You're going to go to the hospital. You're going to take the pharmaceutical drugs. You're going to do the surgeries. You're going to go through all this turmoil. You're going to see loved ones and loss, and you're going to have all of this without understanding who you actually are. Because once you understand who you are, then you can understand where we're going. And then the process of the journey itself becomes easier too. Because then the pain that used to be more painful is not going to be as painful when you realize, oh, that was part of this tapestry. That was part of this life. That was part of this energy that I had to go through in order to get to where we're all trying to get to, and which is the light kingdom. But few there be that find it, because again, the scripture is correct. Broad is the path to destruction. Most people will not even understand what I'm saying. Most people are not going to catch this. It's again only for those who have eyes to see and ears to hear. This is why I love the Lord so much, because all of this knowledge is truth. It's only going to resonate with his select few, and it's only a few. So I can guarantee the people that even listen to Zenterno Radio have to be awake. Have to be. You can't just stumble across my platform. You can't just stumble across my message, my music, or anything that I've done and just be somebody in the matrix. If you do, it's a one shot and you don't really feel it, and then you keep moving on. The fact that if you're going to come back and you're going to listen to the episode again, you're going to listen to more podcasts, you're going to listen to more music, it means you're awake and you're trying to awaken yourself. Again, I'm here like many other people, teachers, etc., guides. We're here to make people remember who they are. We're here to get you guys to go back toward the light, and that's it. All it has to do with remembrance, and it's a beautiful thing. It's really a beautiful process and a beautiful journey. So again, like the blue pill in the Matrix, I mean, there are some beings who love the bondage. They like being less than. They think it's easy. And it's true. I mean, it is easy. You have no responsibility. You just take orders. You do those things. You never analyze yourself. You're not somebody who is introspective. You don't try to better yourself. You don't reflect. You just keep going with the flow. Everything's okay. Whatever comes because these higher ups, quote unquote, are telling you to do something, like the government, take a vaccine, take this, do this, follow this, and you're just following suit, trying to be a good boy and good girl because you don't want to screw up your house, your registrations, your job, and your income because I got to pay more bills. It goes on and on. If that's you, again, take the blue pill and go back to sleep. This is for the red pill. So the real ones out here already know what I'm talking about, and we're not about that. That life is over, by the way. 2020 really put a clear-cut division and an arrow to create a new era, because now we're in a different era. And the new era is consciousness. The new era is understanding. The new era is light. And it's just a huge separation. The gap between those two, light and dark, is actually widening. So there's a big chasm now in between the light and the darkness. So it's clear to see who is on which side. It's also very difficult. Let's say if you're on the dark side and you're trying to jump over that chasm, now it's going to be more difficult for you because the chasm is widening. It's going to be very difficult to change if you're on the dark side. But that is a journey then maybe that soul might have to go through in order to become what they were meant to be, if at all. But we're also coming to that point where it seems that as that chasm is widening, the two sides are kind of being more solidified. We kind of know who's in what position, who's light, who's dark, and that is what it is. Now, if we go back to the scriptures in Genesis, we were given dominion. And I remember doing a thing about dominion. We were never given dominion over knowledge, by the way. So don't get it twisted. When man thinks he knows everything, like the scientists and like these scholars who are trying to guide the world on a trajectory, let's do transhumanism, let's do brain downloads, let's upload you to the cloud, let's upload you into a computer, let's plug you in like the Matrix. These are fools. They're taking orders from Satan. They're taking orders from a higher up. Man was never given dominion over knowledge. And it's actually yet again evident because I just said man who at the top of your men in mankind is saying, why are we here? What is the purpose of life? Blah, blah, blah. And he's still saying that. That proves he has no dominion over knowledge. It's amazing. However, in Genesis, it tells us we were given dominion over certain things. So, such as what? The earth, the plants, and the creatures, right? So if we were given dominion over these things, we were given the responsibility to care for these things. We have to care for the elements. That's the water, that's the earth and the soil, that's the air. And fire doesn't need care because it is a reaction, but it is an element that is strong. It doesn't need care, we already know that. But the other three need care because they're being polluted with a lot of the activity that man has been doing because of industrialization. He's polluted all of this stuff. So man has destroyed so much. And through this destruction, he ends up destroying, of course, slaughtering many creatures because, he wants to eat food, but he also obliterates their habitat and not taking care again of these creatures. We were given an order to take care of creatures, take care of animals, be in harmony with them. It's the same thing with the plants, and same thing with the plants, earth, the elements, and the animals. What we need to do is to do a shift. So the shift is that we take care of the plants. We plant more plants. Take the seeds. Start growing your own gardens. Start growing your own areas. Maybe creating your own little forest or own little a section. Just making sure that green still lives, plants still live, that animals can have a habitat, can have a life. Let's make sure that they're taken care of. Let's also make sure that we are careful not to pollute our elements. They're so vital because the elements are actually part of who we are. Again, as a light being, the elements are us. We are water, we are air, we are fire, we are earth. It actually all resides within us. And so if we don't take care of these elements, we are also being what the dark side wants us to be, which is to destroy, because that's what Satan wants to do. It's all about destruction. It's all about perverting the Most High, what he wanted, and doing the opposite. That's all Satan is. If you really understand, that's what you need to understand. If you understand the Bible, you realize Satan is all about mocking and mimicry. Just whatever the Most High says, do the opposite. And that's what the devil does. 100%. That's all it is. So the solution to all of this is love. It's care. Is obedience. Actually, the scriptures, follow the commands. If you do these things, things will work out well, and we'll have the utopia that we want. Continue to live in harmony with the elements. Continue to live in harmony with the creatures. This is a gateway to life, utopia, the Garden of Eden. It is vital information, and we need to meditate on this type of energy. We need to meditate on this direction, not being sidetracked because of these evil entities are doing this. The righteous, it clearly says in the book of Psalms 91, that the wicked, we will watch and see the recompense of the wicked, that all the arrows that fly by day and the pestilence that stalks by night shall not come near our tent. 1,000, 10,000 fall at your side, but it shall not harm you. The angels protect us. So this has to do with our brethren, the angels, who we are as well, the angels. And we're protected. We're protected in his wisdom, his word, his knowledge. And we need to keep moving in that direction. If you're being fearful right now because of what's coming, if you're being this type of energy, you have to harden your heart in the sense of hardening against the fear. Become strong in love. Become strong in the word of the Most High. Do seeking. Read more scriptures. Read the books of Enoch. Read Jubilees. Read Jasher. Read as much as possible. There's so many gospels, as I said in my other podcast. Go read the Gospel of Judas. Read Gospel of Mary Magdalene. Do the seeking. Do the knowledge. Do the research. It is so vital and necessary, because without it, we're just, like I said, we are not given dominion over knowledge. So that's why we're confused. That's actually why we have existential amnesia. So speaking also about existential amnesia, I want to jump to something that's really personal and tangible right here, right now. Where I'm living, I actually have a few neighbors, and I've dealt with this before, but I just got a notice in the building about the smoking and even cannabis and burning things and selling cannabis. It says it's illegal. They shouldn't be doing it, and they can be terminated from their tenancy here. So I have there's like three neighbors, two that are actually real close to my unit on the same floor. They smoke, which is ridiculous. And then I remember a few years ago, I had an issue with somebody who was above us because we were on this apartment building. So we had this person dropping their cigarette butts down onto my patio. So what I had to do was take it into my own hands, and I collected all those butts, and I had to walk all the way up to this guy's unit, place the butts right at the front of his door, and then just walk away, so that the person realized, oh, I shouldn't do that. And guess what? It's little things like that. When you do something strong like that, it makes a big difference. That person never dropped those butts ever again. And that's what we need to do. We need to be strong. You don't have to have violence, but we just need to be strong in our decisions to make a change that actually helps people, instead of allowing these people to be ignorant, because existential amnesia, they don't know who they are. Also, now I don't care about other people because I don't know who I am. I don't even understand the purpose of life. Let me smoke this, let me drop it and make somebody else's day shit. Let me smoke this thing and let the wind blow and make them feel like shit, because now they wanted to garden, but you're blowing pollution into their lungs. They don't want to smell it, so then they have to go inside. I've dealt with that type of shit, and it's ridiculous. People need to realize the effect and the impact we all have on each other, even when you don't really talk to your neighbor. But it's people like that, again, who are on the blue pill. That's really all you're on. You're on the blue pill, you're smoking, you're doing your drugs, you're doing whatever the hell you're doing. You only care about yourself, you're egotistical. And that's the type of thing that us light beings, we don't deal with. We don't deal with stuff like that. Yeah. A lot of crazy people. There's also another dude who's got a lot of spasms. He opens the door, starts yelling and stuff, and it's like, bro, I mean, there's some people got problems, but there's people that are so ridiculous. They think that they're the ones suffering, but it's like, to come out of your suffering, sometimes you have to help somebody else. So a lot of times these people, they're just so caught up in their own struggle and woe is me. So they want everybody else to feel like shit because they feel like shit. But if you would come out of your shit and help somebody else with their shit and realize, oh, somebody else is struggling, by helping them, I feel better. And then now the world is a better place. But, this is what it is. So we just need to be better. We need to be loving. We need to get out of the blue pill, get out of the existential amnesia, because again, life is about remembrance. So on that note, I'm going to close the episode. It's profound. Do more seeking, do more meditation, do more prayer. It's all about reaching for the stars, reaching toward the light kingdom. It's important. It's absolutely vital to our existence. Get in harmony with nature. Don't think that there's a disconnect. The animals feel you, the nature feels you, the elements feel you. You can restore yourself from the elements with the animals, with the plants. All of this is vital. And when it's time for us to leave out of the flesh, which is destined for everyone anyways, this is the part of this reality that you come to terms with as you grow in this reality. We have to leave here, just like we came here, we have to leave here. Then you're going to be in a better space. And we're going to move toward our absolute destiny, our true purpose. And that's what it needs to be. So this is Zenterno Radio. If you like the podcast, please share it. Tune in as much as possible. There are 31 other episodes you can listen to. You could go to, it used to be Anchor. Now they call it Spotify for podcasters. You can come to our website at zenternomusic.com/podcast. And you can listen to music. We have albums. We're working on a third album right now. Well, I'm working on a third album right now, and a lot of stuff is in the mix. So stay tuned, and we'll catch everyone at a later date. I'm liking the format thus far. I'm pretty much doing an episode once a month. I think that works for me. It's a little bit. It's good for now. So tune in probably next month. And we'll catch you guys some other time. Zenterno Radio, peace and shalom.